This is Apex Predator. This is episode 7 of the redo of What If Deku was transported to Danmachi. So we previously Deku has bought himself a house with the money he has earned in the dungeon. He currently lives in that house with Ainz, and they are currently training Bell in his basement where he keeps his training equipment. And we cut to Deku training Bell in, his magic. So Bell is working on making bigger fireballs with less mana drain. So basically he's doing what Bakugo would do in the training camp, but instead of having his forearm bones break, it's mana drain. So they're doing that while Ainz is currently having tea in the kitchen. And yeah, that goes on for about 20 minutes when Bell is completely exhausted from using his magic. Deku has a vast amount more than anyone he has a lot more mana and can conjure up more powerful things than Riveria and the one made at Hostess of Fertility that used to be an adventurer, a very high level and seriously OP adventurer. But yeah, so he's fairly OP. But he likes to make sure that he's trained to his max so he doesn't lose, because he doesn't want to lose anything. In this world that he has finally realized the essence of losing something. Losing the ability to go back to his original home. That's what first loss he had to deal with. The loss of the other 3 heroes not being able to do anything to protect them or help them. So he is training to his pinnacle. He has about 40% of One for All down. He has unlocked Black Whip. So he learned how to use that. And as he's learned how to use Black Whip and a higher percentage of One for All, he starts learning how to use Float. Basically using Float to make him. His movements faster, jumping around the room as Bell is trying to either slash at him, hit him, or use Firebolt. This goes on like it's Gran Torino versus All Might brutal, honestly, but with less kicking and more like tapping. It's like showing that I could have killed you at that moment. Basically taunting him and making sure he knows what's going on around him, training him to do something. If there is an enemy about to attack you, let's say at your side, you must be able to knock the weapon away, or the arrow, or anything that's about to hit you, and counterattack. That's basically the gist of it. It's also toughening him up by smashing his face in once in a while. Wow. As he is level 2 now, and his stats are currently around C and B in level 2. I'm just gonna add that. But this goes on. And then, and after all that training, Deku and Eyes are like preparing, like that day is the day they're going on the raid. The raid to the 59th floor, as in the anime of Danmachi, for the Familia, for the Loki Familia Guild. No? Familia, yeah. And Belle is wishing them luck, and I'll be most probably getting some, how this is, getting some experience around when you guys are at the 10th to, I don't know, 10th to 15th floor. Him being a lot more confident in himself, going alone with his supporter, which his supporter has come over to Deku's place to do some minor training, just so she can carry a bigger bag or become a little more faster and have a lot more endurance. Also training her magic. So they're going to Bell is going into the dungeon, doing what he's gonna do, and the Loki Familia is setting up, and they start their voyage. They start going down the levels. Some of the lower ranking just taking the brunt of the 1 to 10 floors. And meanwhile, well, they are on, because honestly, I do not know which level they were at when Bell was fighting the Minotaur, because that's happening. So, I'ma just say it's happening on the 13th. The Loki Familia reaches the 13th. Yeah, okay, so they're on the 12th. Like, they just got into the 12th, trying to get past some monsters, and the entire fight starts. And because of Deku's not brutal training, basically his training helped him a lot. He's like, okay, how would I say this? And their fight starts, okay? So you know where his level is, okay? So he's definitely gonna do a lot better than in canon Danmachi. So he's just so first thing they walk up to each other, face to face. The red minotaur with the giant blade in his right hand, and the the minotaur runs and slashes diagonally towards Bell. Bell goes into the bottom corner of basically think of a cube, you cutting it in half and taking one of the corners. That's basically where he went. And he goes down there and shoves the blade up his armpit, through his shoulder, and just drags it along the rest of the part of his arm, tearing the thing off. Once he just rips the minotaur arm off, he jumps away, and the minotaur screeches out in pain and tries to grab the blade with his left hand and is struggling because, I don't know. So he comes at Deku again, but Deku jumps to the ceiling as the minotaur was about to thrust, because he can't control that thing with now a decapitated arm. Him being disarmed, unbalanced, and with an arm, the arm he didn't use to train with, to use the sword. So he just tried to thrust it through, but not Deku, Bell jumped to the ceiling. The Minotaur looks up with his mouth open, roaring at him. And then Bell was like, oh, that was a mistake. And he jumps down and plunges his hand deep into the Minotaur's mouth. Most probably into the windpipe, because he was screaming out, taking the breath out of his lungs. And then he just used firebolts, filling his lungs with fire, burning him from the inside, making him disappear, being killed. And like the jump to the ceiling, that's when the Loki Familia walked in, and they saw the rest of the fight. They saw that he found the precise moment of the Minotaur roaring at him, and he used that and burnt his lungs. Burnt his lungs like cigarettes do to your lungs. So don't do that. You're gonna kill yourself. Gosh, wonder I could become a safety guard or something like that. Whatever. So Deku walks up to him, and Deku's like the single tear moment, but very sentimental. Sentimental. Sorry. And Eyes walks up behind Deku, well, behind and to the side, also being proud of Bell. So they pat him on the shoulder, and they carry on with their raid. And Deku asks Bell what is his level and his ability rank. Bet. you know, uh, Wolf Boy. Uh, he's been brutally humbled by Deku. Everyone was once weak, but then they got stronger, just like you did, Bet. And so that type of moment happened. So he's been humbled. So he's like, he walks up while he hears he's level 2 with the C to B rank with his skills. And Bet's like, damn, he grew a lot. He was barely scraping any cash from the low level floors. Now he's up in the middles, scraping up cash. And Lily is completely fine. Like a few Minotaur blood splatters on her, but she's completely fine. And she's also praising Belle. Because we all want the good white-haired bean, the Belle Bunny, our little Belle Bunny, to be happy and praised. Anyway, so that all happens. So the rest of Deku's raid will, Deku and Loki Familia raid will, for now, stop at that moment. Belle goes down like 3 floors with them. They're level 16, and Belle's just thrashing Minotaurs now, while having some help, like earth bullets in Minotaur's bodies. Like Deku's just giving some light support, basically disabling a leg, an arm, or just outright destroying an entire group of 3 Minotaurs charging from behind Belle. Just making sure that he can actually survive this little bit of raid. But eventually Belle is getting tired, and he goes up with Lily, and he goes up, he gets his stuff from the guild, and he goes back to Hestia. And Hestia, being so proud that his that one of his 2 one of her 2 so sorry, I'm so bad at this, sorry. Familia members has grown so much so quickly. So when he's back home and talking to Lily and gets interrupted by a very cheerful and very huggy goddess Hestia, and eventually she gets off of Belle and they talk for a while, getting some tea, some hash browns, I think it was. So she asks, Hestia asks, how the hell did you get so strong? Like, I know you have the that one ability that I'm most probably never gonna say, but the ability he has in canon. So yeah. And he explains, like, I trained very hard with a member of the Loki familia, two members of the Loki familia actually, and she's like, wait, really? I can't believe that you actually got two of them to actually help you train. Her not like being upset that he's training with other familia, more happy that he's getting some good training in and improving. And he explains the training he goes through basically daily for that week. Not those week and a half, I'm just gonna say. And she's just like, she puts, you know how Uraraka puts her hand, she does that, puts her elbows on her knees, like, wow. If I were you, I would not survive. I would die the first day. Her just thinking of it is like, yeah, nah, I'm good. But she's like, are you sure you're okay? And he says, I'm fine, Hestia. I'm the greatest person I could be right now. So, back to the raid. Once Belle had left, they go down to the 19th floor, and they are currently resting there for the day. And a day goes by, and Deku and Ainz get closer. Like, they live in the same house, and they kiss and cuddle, whatever you want to think about. But yeah, it's like, at first, from the beginning of when they started living together, it was like a very rare thing to see them cuddling or kissing or anything like that. But now it's getting a little more common. They're getting into each other. And then it hits a phase of a relationship. I'm not gonna be like, no, they broke up. It comes to a phase where you trust your significant other to where you know exactly what they're thinking at every time. So, like, okay, I'm pretty much guessing it's so it's 19 level 19, level 39, then level 59, because they haven't gotten to the level 59 yet. And yeah, so while they're at the 39th, that's where the phase starts. They like look at each other and they know exactly what each other are thinking. Like, they know exactly everything. Like, it's come to the point where they have bathed together. But that's like one moment of their relationship. It only happens twice. So now they are at the, like, they are battle hardened. You can see the deterioration of soul in their eyes. Well, most of them. Deku's like he's a little scuffed up, you know, but he's able to push past that and just go. He's is a thrashing monster. They're at the 56th, I'm gonna say, and they have nearly lost a single member. Nearly. Well, they've nearly lost 15 other people, but everyone's alive thanks to Deku and his black whip. Sorry if you heard that. That was my mother sneezing. So, their trip goes on, and Deku is getting tired. Ainz is also getting tired. Reveria is getting low on not healing potions, mana potions and stamina potions. Everything is starting to, they're starting to lose resources, and they finally get to the 58th floor. They haven't entered the boss room yet, but they camp there, and they try and get everything they need. So they rest up for that day, taking shifts to guard everyone, getting washed up and mentally ready for this magnificent boss battle. And I don't know what boss is in floor 58. So just imagine a monster. Like a monster 50 times stronger than the Goliath from the 18th floor. And that's what they're fighting. And remember, Deku, at the time of when he defeated the the Goliath on level 18, he destroyed it he kicked a hole straight through a chest, like the place between the chest and the stomach. He blasted a hole through that thing with 35% of One for All. Now remember that he is he's throughout this entire thing, he's gotten a lot of experience, a lot of work he's gone through. So when he gets back, you'll see what will I do to him. So after the week of this entire raid, they have literally, I'm pretty sure a lot of the low ranking ones have already reached 3 or 2. I'm not sure if anyone is actually at level 1 in their thing, but they are getting gains. They are battle hardened on this, and they finally, once they're all prepared, they get up, they get ready, and they charge into the boss room. Deku immediately using float to go up to the head and deliver 5 punches to the face. It making the smallest crack you can think of. Not too small, the little crack on Bell's, the little red crack. That's how big it was. 48. No, 50. 50. Yeah. 50% smashes. 2 from the from his feet, 1 from his arm, and another 1. No, another 2 with his legs, because he does use his arms. He just doesn't want to use 100% and thrash his tendons and his bones. So he's like, damn it, I'm too weak. Him thinking that as he's flying back to the rest, him preparing for a full elemental barrage of bullets. Like, he legit has hundreds. Like, he's using a very, very vast amount of magic. He has 100 earth bullets, 100 fire bullets, 100 water bullets, 100 ice bullets, 100 lightning bullets, 100 shadow bullets, 100 light bullets, and he has a quick heal or a fast heal prepared for any injured. So he's just building up. He's making these bullets strong. Like 10 of these bullets is equivalent to 100% smash. That is how much mana he's putting in this. He's putting everything into this, making it one quick shot. And then what he starts to do is so they're all like spread out in front of him in a giant wall of bullets. And then he slowly turns his hands, making all of the bullets spin like in a circle. And then they slowly close into one single point. He's just doing this motion of like a circular motion with his hands, and he's just pouring all of the bullets into one mega bullet. And I'm going to call this, he's going to call this the Hyper Elemental Cannon. He shouts this out. Hyper Elemental Cannon! And he launches the thing so fast that as it reaches, like it barely touches, like he is a good 300 meters away with the rest of the ranged units, and just like one split second it's already at the chest of the giant, I'm just gonna say black dragon, cause why not. Like the black dragon in the previous episode, I think 5 or 3, I'm not sure, but he faced a black dragon. No, I think that's someone else's thing. But anyway, so he fights this. It's a big black dragon. And as it touches the surface of its chest, that is the exact moment when Ainz realizes that Deku shot something, because her reflexes are on point. And she just sees and feels this massive amount of power just eating away at the air, at the space, the void, just completely a mass of destruction, and it hits the black dragon. Like, I don't explain how it worked, okay? So the earth is like the back and inner, like that's the all those bullets are compressed into like some super compressed bullet. Then the ice, like the ice is also very spiky. Then the shadow, and yeah, I'm just gonna say this. Then the water, and then the lightning, and then the fire, and then the light. So the light is so strong that it's like, just think of a magnifying glass with the sun. That's basically what it's doing, but like times a million, and just burns a hole, a small hole in the chest. Uh, and then once all of the light bullets enter and are diminished, the fire bullets start to activate and scorch, like melting the chest of the black dragon, and his skin is fairly thick. But at the point of scorching the thick skin, it finally reaches the muscle. And then once it's like dug into the muscle bit, the fire bullets are diminished. Then the lightning bullets start to activate and completely paralyze and just destroy the muscle. Like, this thing is gonna have it's gonna stop his heart. But not really, because I still need this boss fight to be hella long, I guess. But, and then it was the shadow, no. Then it was the water, and that just, on the electrified and paralyzed muscle of the chest, it just sprays the water, like high pressure stuff. And to be honest, high pressure water can cut your limbs off. I am not kidding you. It will cut you clean in half if it's spread in the right direction. So this thing just burrows deeper into the muscle. Then the shadow doesn't do that much damage, but it's like physical shadow, so it's fairly strong. It's like earth strong, but it's also like, how would you say that? It's also like water, very high pressure can tear through stuff. So that's basically what it does. It just tears through more, making a giant crater inside of the chest. Like, yeah. And then whatchamacallit? And then the ice just separates from the rock and stabs into like a buckshot that shoots like 50 different balls of lead into an animal, but just ice bullets just digging into the crater. And then the earth bullet that has been super compressed into a giant, like think of a 50 cal, but 3 times the size. Like the bullet and the chamber where the gunpowder is put, that's how big it is. And it just sinks like a foot deep, slightly grazing the rib of the beast. And in that split moment, all of that happens, just so you know. And Deku's just like brought to one knee, and he grabs a mana potion out of his small pack, and he chugs it down and puts it away. And doing significant damage and leaving a physical object inside of the beast. So everyone else, like Bet, the two Amazonians, Riveria, Ainz, just completely thrash and get at that crater in its chest, pushing that super compressed earth bullet deeper and deeper, penetrating, breaking the rib after like 10 minutes of just pure bashing the crater deeper and deeper, or the bullet deeper and deeper. They crack and destroy the rib, going straight to its heart. And then Deku has finally recovered enough stamina and mana to bring out another attack that he has been keeping secret from apparently me and from everyone. For you see, while he has been training Bell, he has picked up and bought a few more grimoires, getting him new abilities. And so he has 3 more abilities that go very well together, honestly, to be fairly honest. Okay, so this is what it's called. It is called Earth Armament. Basically, you can summon the essence of Earth to him and cover his body in a slight aura type mist and completely cover his body and protect him from literally like half of an atomic bomb, if you get what I'm saying. And while doing this, it strengthens his body, making him more durable. And then basically he's getting 3 enhancement magic. Earth, which is basically armor and thickness of the skin, and a little bit of a strength boost. And then he calls upon the element of fire, covering, overlapping the element of earth, and within his muscles and bones and his body, he erupts in a little bit of fire, coming slightly through the aura of earth, covering the earth aura and strengthening him a lot more. And then he calls upon his third and final new magical ability, Thunder Fist, basically enhancing his fists with basically, I'ma just say Danky lightning, but like this doesn't hurt him. It just yellow lightning, you could say. Yeah, so he calls upon yellow lightning and just completely covers his hands with that, as well as his feet, obviously, because he doesn't use punches as much as he uses kicks. And then he's finally ready for his battle. And this is draining him not too much, but a lot. So he, like, within 2 seconds, because he's not that fast, he uses One for All as well. He has 3 enhancements, as well as One for All, pushed to its limit thanks to the Fire enhancement and the Earth enhancement, making him physically stronger and more durable, making him able to use 65% of his power, basically giving him 15% more. But remember, he also has Thunder Fist and element of fire and earth on his side, so his punches are going to be pretty much equivalent to an 1,000,000% smash at this point. Because these enhancements are not weak, they are strong. Because Deku doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to see anyone get hurt. So he will become strong no matter what. No matter what the cost is not a very good thing to say, because you could say, I'd sell my soul to get more power type thing. But no, he will do anything to get power to protect, not sell his soul like that, but still. And he's like a lot of mana drain, so doing this also helps him bring up his resistance, or brings down the amount of mana used on spells and enhancements. So he dashes 2 seconds from the 300-meter mark all the way to 1 meter away from the chest. And Ainz has just backed away from striking the crater in its chest. And he delivers 56 different types of attacks. Kicks, punches, like spin kick, whatever you can think of, like Dragon Ball Z type fighting, but just like to a single point right in the middle of the crater, making the crater massive. Like its entire chest is just ripped off. Its arms can't even move forward. It has to slouch over to get its arms to move forward. Its back muscles still work, because your pecs or chest moves your arms forward unless gravity does it for you. But yeah, its entire chest is gone at this point. Its ribs are stardust, honestly. And he can see the core right underneath the heart. I'm not sure where exactly the core would be. I'm just saying, like, right below the heart and the ribs. So he delivers the final punch, taking the Thunder Fist or uh, Thunder Smash. I don't know. Just keep it Thunder Fist. So he takes it away from his feet. He takes it away from his left hand and puts everything, all of his elemental aura, and reinforces that one last blow with basically 2 of each elemental bullet, just like spinning around his fist, and he delivers what is equivalent to 1,562,000, no, 500,000% smash. Basically 500,000 more percentages, because that's honestly a lot. In the actual anime of My Hero Academia, that 1,000,000% smash is not 1,000,000. If it was 1,000,000, that would have destroyed an entire city just by using 1,000%. And he punched through like a weakened muscular and a few layers of rock. Basically, that is not 1,000,000%. I'm just buffing him, honestly. But this completely blows a hole straight through it, out the back. And while the entire hole is there, Deku's arm is like slightly bruised, and it's also twitching. And then he just uses the last amount of his strength to jump off of what remains of the crater and lands back down, collapsing. And Ainz jumps in and finishes the beast off with a stab to the core. And they go to the 59th floor, resting up, and starting up an entire village. Well, basically the start of a village, to basically, start up a safe spot for adventurers to stay at. So they're currently working hard, but they also have their tents up, and we cut to Deku with Ainz sitting right next to him as he is sleeping from the massive stamina and mana drain that he endured during that battle. Her just smiling at the fact the only reason why it ended so quickly is because 57, 58, 59. Basically, it ended, all he did is deliver 59 different attacks. And that's pretty much how they got everything, so they finished everything so fast. 59 and a couple hundred attacks from everyone else. She's smiling, not ear to ear, but just like genuine smile of admiration, because she cannot pull off anything. The reason why I'm making him so OP is because I want to. But the end of that day goes by, and they basically have a few um, basically like 3 cabins up. But like there's nothing furnished. Everything's just like built as a frame for when they eventually come back. So there's gonna be 3 Loki Familia blacksmiths that are going to stay with a few other artisans, with builders, and a few adventurers are going to stay up there to rest and build. Because honestly, I don't know what the hell they wanted to do up on the 59th floor. So they go back down the other part of the group, the one with Deku in, and they reach the 44th floor, battling a monster so they can get down to, well, I think get up to the lower level floors. And Deku finally wakes up. He's like, oh, what happened? He knew not feeling any pain because he's had like 5 days to rest while they were rebuilding and they started to go back down. So he gets out of the wagon that they were in and walks up to Ainz, who is sitting at a campfire waiting for the monster to be defeated. And he's like, oh, hey Ainz. And she turns around, stands up, rushes to him and hugs him. It's like, oh my gosh, I thought I'd never see you awake again. And he's confused, like, how long have I been out for? It's like, oh, 5.5 days. You worried me there, Izuku. Him smiling at the fact that he has an adorable girlfriend that cares about him so much. So he, like, right now, at base level without any of the enhancements, he can withstand 50% of One for All. With the enhancements on, he can go up to 65, which is 15% more. But like physically it is only 65, but the output is much more because of the other enhancements. Yeah, gosh, I'm still recording. This is most probably gonna be an hour, honestly. But they finally, like, after a few levels going back to the surface, they finally reach the surface. And there it is, Bal, with a new friend. Basically, the events of what happened with the Loki Familia going down there is basically the space between where Bell met Wealth Crozo and wanted to wait a bit just to see if the Loki Familia was coming up. And they did. And Deku just walks up to him and is like, hello there, Bell. How's your week off from training? Actually, it's been 2 weeks. You do realize that? It's like, he's like, oh yeah. Oh, I've been asleep for 5.5 days. or 5 days, I'm not sure. Apparently, I used too much mana and stamina during the final battle. Baldur's thing is like, well, you're only a level 3 and you're on the 59th floor. Well, yeah, but I'm super powerful. You know, right? Bell just slightly whimpering. He's like, yeah, you're too strong. Being a bit salty. No, not salty. That's salty being mean. Salty being anime crying. Anime cry of pain and misery for the future. And Deku's like, don't worry. We'll go through minor training, cause I still need to rest up a bit. And then no, I'm not gonna leave it off there. Bal goes down into the dungeon, does whatever he wants to do. This isn't when Bal gets trapped and has to go to the 19th floor. That's gonna happen later in the next episode. But Deku and Ainz go to the mansion to get their statuses, their stats updated. Ainz is a level 7 with D to C ranking. Well, that's what she is now, thanks to the update. So she went up a level from 6 to 7. And she's around D and C stats. And Deku, when he is up, his stats are updated, Loki screams out like, "What?" Deku blocking his ears just to make sure that she doesn't scream at him for getting so darn strong in like one trip. So, at the beginning of this episode, he was a level 3 with C to B. No, he was a level 3 with D to C abilities. He came out with a level 4. He's level 4 now. And he has B to A. So what Deku likes to do is he likes to make sure everything's at S before he does anything, because he knows he's gonna improve very fast. Well, he's gonna improve until he gets to 100%, then he's just gonna get a little bit of a standstill until he improves his one-for-all quirk. But anyway, so Loki sees the 3 new abilities, and she just a sigh of, what is life? How are you so OP? It's not even funny anymore, honestly. I'm the goddess of mischief. I like making fun of people, having fun, playing pranks. But honestly, this is just too much for me. Deku just gets up and is like, okay. And she hands him the paper of what his stats are. It's like, ooh, I guess a little more grinding for levels, then I can get to a level 5. And the news of him nearly becoming a level 5 is honestly astounding and is literally everywhere on posters all over the guild, messages being sent notifying other gods and goddesses of this miraculous or this extreme achievement of growth and power. And he goes back to his house with Ainz, and then they fall asleep. The end. Yeah. Thank you guys for sticking with me if you're still here. Thank you for watching my videos. Honestly, I'm just trying to find something to do other than watching videos. So I'll just send out things, and I thank you all for all of your support, which is most probably a few good comments, and I have not checked any of my videos for likes and things like that. But honestly, I don't necessarily think until I'm most probably at 100 subscribers, then I'd care about like goals. Not even, honestly. I'm far away from anything like that. But thank you all for everything, and have a great day.